I have an idea, though, for what to do with the editing. But for now, okay, how are we gonna word this? It's gonna be something like, with the growing with the increase in kids-safe platforms appearing, the curating and trust of these kids' spaces, YouTube Kids, for instance, are being left to being unregulated to the point of abuse, with the idea that they are curated for kids being enough for people to trust them, causing a lack of regulation and an increase in abuse, as well as just general slop content kids are over absorbing nowadays. How do you think this will affect the next couple generations if it is not reined in? I think that's fine. All right. The unregulated nature of kids' platforms like YouTube Kids is a growing concern, especially as these spaces are marketed as safe and curated for children. Despite this promise, the lack of oversight has led to an influx of inappropriate and low-quality slop content, which kids are over-absorbing. If this issue isn't addressed, it could have profound effects on the next couple of generations. Here's how it might unfold. Short-term effects on kids. Exposure to inappropriate content. Platforms like YouTube Kids often fail to filter out harmful material. Think violent, sexual, or disturbing videos. Kids encountering this can experience confusion, fear, or even trauma as their young minds aren't equipped to process it. Overload of low-quality content. The endless stream of mindless, repetitive, and sensational slop content can overstimulate kids, shrinking their attention spans and stunting early cognitive growth. Behavioral changes. Watching aggressive or hyperactive characters without context can normalize those behaviors. Kids might mimic what they see, leading to tantrums or impulsivity in real life. Long-term effects on development. Distorted worldviews. Unregulated content can shape how kids see the world. If they're fed sensationalized or misleading videos, they might grow up with skewed ideas about relationships, success, or even violence, thinking these exaggerated portrayals are normal. Impaired growth. Passively consuming shallow content can weaken critical thinking, creativity, and emotional depth. Kids might struggle with problem solving or empathy if their media lacks substance. Screen addiction. Algorithms designed to keep kids hooked can foster dependency, pulling them away from real world play, socializing, or learning. Key pillars of healthy development. Societal ripple effects. Shifting values. A generation raised on this content might prioritize instant gratification and superficiality over substance and connection, altering cultural norms in unsettling ways. Educational struggles. Teachers would face classrooms of kids who can't focus or handle complex tasks as they're used to fast, easy content. This could widen learning gaps and lower overall academic achievement. Economic fallout. Down the line, a workforce with weaker creativity or emotional intelligence might stall innovation and productivity, dragging on economic progress. What can be done? Tighter regulations. Governments could step in with stricter rules for platforms, holding them accountable for what kids see, and ensuring real curation, not just a safe label. Better parental tools. Platforms should offer stronger controls. Think real-time monitoring or custom filters so parents can tailor what's accessible. Smarter tech. AI could improve content filtering, catching harmful stuff before it reaches kids, though it'd need to avoid overreach for policy pitfalls, or privacy pitfalls. Media literacy. Teaching kids to question what they watch and understand its impact could build resilience against junk content. Active parenting. Parents aren't off the hook. They should guide screen time, set limits, and talk about what kids see. Bottom line, if we don't rein this in, the next couple of generations could grow up desensitized, distracted, and unprepared for life's challenges. The effects wouldn't stop at individuals. Education, social bonds, and even the economy would feel the strain. Acting now with regulation, tech upgrades, and education is critical to make these platforms genuinely safe and beneficial, not just a free-for-all hiding behind a kid-friendly badge. Stakes are too high to ignore. Let's try this and see what it thinks about this. Research suggests that unregulated kids platforms like YouTube Kids could harm future generations by exposing children to inappropriate content and low-quality slot potential. Seems likely that without regulation, these platforms may lead to increased emotional and behavioral issues, reducing attention spans and impaired cognitive growth. Evidence leans towards long-term impacts like distorted worldviews, educational struggles, and social changes, but the extent depends on how the issues are addressed. There's controversy around balancing platform freedom with child safety, with some advocating for stricter rules and others concerned about innovation. Immediate concerns. Unregulated kids platforms such as YouTube Kids are currently facing issues like exposure to harmful content, violent or sexual material, and an overload of low-quality, overstimulating content. This can confuse or traumatize children and foster screen addiction, pulling them away from real-world activities like play and socializing. Potential long-term effects. If not addressed, these platforms could shape the next generations in significant ways. Developmental impacts. Children might grow up with distorted views of reality, struggling with critical thinking, creativity, and emotional depth due to passive consumption of shallow content. Educational challenges. Kids accustomed to fast-paced videos may find it hard to focus in school, potentially leading to lower academic achievement and wider learning gaps. Social ripple effects. A generation with reduced emotional intelligence and innovation capacity could slow economic progress and alter cultural norms toward instant gratification. What can be done? To mitigate these risks, stricter regulations, better parental controls, and media literacy education are crucial. Platforms need to ensure safety, and parents should guide screen time actively. Conclusion and future outlook. The unregulated nature of kids' platforms like YouTube Kids possess significant risks to future generations, with potential long-term consequences for cognitive, emotional, and societal development. Research suggests that without intervention, we could see a generation with impacted critical thinking, increased mental health issues, and reduced capacity of innovation. However, with stricter regulations, better tools, and education, these risks can be mitigated. Balance between platform freedom and child safety remains a contentious issue, with ongoing debates about how to protect children while fostering innovation. As of July 2025, the evidence leads towards the need for urgent action to ensure these digital spaces support rather than hinder the well-being of future generations. True! Alright.